We are going live now, even though our connection says it's not very good.
If it's not very good today, you guys, I'm sorry. I mean the connection. The show, of course, is going to be magnificent.
It's going to be fantastic.
You guys.
Hi, everyone.
Do you remember the other day when we had the Relaxed Matthew show?
Yeah? We're not doing that again.
We might have the Tired Matthew show today. I'm just saying I got up very early.
We had Tired Matthew yesterday, and you were whiz-bang super fun.
Oh, WBSF.
Yes.
That's an awkward thing to roll off the tongue in terms of acronyms. I made myself a cup of coffee, so 20 minutes from now, apparently, I'm going to perk right up.
Oh,
if
good.
If you can hold
you
out
guys
for
are
that.
just right for the tail end of things.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys, there's some excitement. Part of why I'm tired is that I wrote you a story this morning that I'm going to share with you in a little bit. That's just a preface, a prelude, a prognostication. We're going to start with something very simple.
Hellos.
Hellos. We haven't started with hellos in a while. My name is
Oh,
Matthew
boy.
Swanson. I am an author. I am a father. I used to jog before I
Oh,
got a hernia.
boy.
Robbie, how about you? What?
Oh, that was a lot of information, actually, for just a hello.
Yes.
Is that how you usually introduce yourself at
Whenever
cocktail
I
parties?
meet someone on the street, I say those things, plus other things, but
We
I
have a
wanna
funny
maintain-
story about somebody who met Matthew post his running days.
Okay, and what's the story? I don't know the
And
story.
she said, I used to see you running through my neighborhood like a maniac, and I was concerned that there was something very crazy about you.
She was a little afraid of me. I ran with such a
You
smoldering
ran
intensity.
with intensity and vigor.
And then she met me and was like, that's a nice guy. And then one day I had on my running sunglasses and she was like,
She's like,
oh my gosh.
it's him.
Yes, and have you ever heard you know the Uncanny Valley?
Yes.
She experienced the Uncanny Valley.
I don't think that's how you use the Uncanny
It
Valley.
was. She experienced
It was as if you were a robot.
It was as if yes, the scary cyborg runner man was her friend. All right, here we go. What does that say? Vocal warm-ups. Okay, you guys, we're going to do some vocal warm-ups today. We're going to teach you some tongue twisters that you can do before you go on stage for your Broadway debut. Here's one that's hard for me that I'm going to try to teach you. You need New York. Unique New York. You know you need unique New York.
Okay, hold on. Is that it?
You
need-
know... No.
Oh, it's...
You know New York. It's so hard. Unique New York. You know you need unique New York. It's the nya.
Can we start line by line?
You know New York.
You know New York.
Unique New York.
Unique New York.
You know you need
You know you need
unique New York.
unique New York.
You know New York.
You know New York.
Unique New York.
Unique New York.
You know you need unique New York.
You know you need New York.
Try it. All right,
Oops.
Robbie. All right, fast. All right.
You know New York. Unique New York. You know you need unique New York.
Unork. That's the problem. It's the Unork is the problem. Okay. Fast now. You paused to think.
I did. You know New York, unique New York. You know you need unique New York.
That's pretty good.
I did it
That's
pretty well.
good. You know New York, unique New York. You know you need unique New York. Ah!
Are you supposed to do it like a robot?
Yeah, I know. There's no supposed to about it. You only have to do it fast and not with thinking
You know
between
New
the
York,
lines.
new unique. Ooh.
You know New York, unique
Unique
New
New
York. You know you need unique New York.
I'm gonna write
I
it
want
down
you guys
because
to
I can't-
practice that.
I can't actually.
I want you guys to practice
remembering
that.
it.
And
from
once
line
you
to line.
master it, then you're ready to go on stage.
New
It gets your
York,
mouth and your
unique
brain attuned.
New York, York.
Yeah.
You know you need unique New York.
All right. Good luck, my friends. Do you feel vocally?
Practice, please.
Do you feel vocally limber?
Oh,
All right.
here's somebody has one.
What's that?
Red leather, yellow leather, blue leather.
I've never
I
heard
don't
the
know.
blue leather
Is that
part.
a
I just
joke?
heard red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red yellow leather, and then you start. It's red leather, yellow leather,
blue leather,
red leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
red, yellow, blue. Oh, I can't
I've
even.
never done it with the blue. It's hard enough even with just the two.
All right.
All right. So that's
Good,
what
good for the vocal warm-ups. Thank you,
Okay.
Matthew.
All right.
Matthew used to be a theater
For
person.
many years, I was an actor, and I thought that was going to be my career. In a funny way, I still do perform on a daily basis.
Yes, you do.
With the Rob Losticator. All right, let's see what's happening
That's my
next here.
stage name.
All right.
The Rob Losticator.
Vocal warm-ups.
Good, well
Drink
done.
water.
Drink water. I didn't. Oh.
You don't have to worry about
I
a
don't
thing
have to
there,
worry
Robbie
about
Bear.
water.
Darling, I got you, darling.
Cheers,
Chin,
prost, come
chin,
high,
chin,
chin, chin.
chin.
What is that? We'd like to know some more of these.
Oh,
These ones are getting
how
old
about,
and tired.
How about booyah? How about, oh yeah. Can you finish, Robbi? Bottoms up, bottoms up. All right. Do you guys drink water with us, or are you just humoring us? Are you just sitting here waiting?
You better be drinking water.
I'd like some honest talk.
Otherwise,
you guys drinking water with
everyone
us?
gets put in detention.
What is that?
Renegade theme song.
So here, you guys, here's the plan. I was going to do a Renegade version of the theme song.
Oh.
And then I was tuning my guitar, and, well, that's great. All well and good. But when I was cutting cheese for Robbi's sandwich yesterday, I sliced it on the cheese slicer. And when I try to push on the guitar string right there, it hurts.
You know what Matthew said yesterday?
What did I say?
He said, our cheese slicer is really sharp.
It's super sharp.
I was like, it needs to cut cheese.
Oh, come on. Cheese is so soft. So I was thinking...
That's why it needs to be super sharp.
Anyway, it's sharper than you think. And when Robbi demands a sandwich...
Wait, you just wrote the agenda. You wrote the agenda so that you could complain about your finger.
No. I wrote the agenda fully thinking that my finger would be capable of playing a song. It's not until I tried to tune it that I realized that
does
the delicacy...
this happen to Keith Richards? Does he cut his finger on a cheese cutter and say, I can't, the show can't go on?
I can't get no songs because my finger hurts. That's what I said. I think that's how it goes.
Is that
right?
is that what happens?
Friends, I would
right.
like to... We could just sing a Renegade theme song.
Here's another tongue twister.
Okay, what is it?
Irish wristwatch.
Irish wristwatch.
Irish
wristwatch.
That
That's
is a
terrible.
hard one.
Irish wristwatch.
Irish
wristwatch. Irish wristwatch. The more you can make it sort of rhythmic, Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch. Oh, that's very, very cruel. Just refilled my 36-ounce bottle after finishing it just before 1 p.m., says Amy Schaefer.
Well,
And
you still have to drink.
Slim is going to do the Renegade. All right, Slim. Record yourself doing the Renegade. Get permission from your parents. Send it to us. We'll play it on the show.
Is the Renegade the dancing thing?
No, it's the Renegade theme song, I think. Does she mean she can do a dance called the Renegade?
I feel like that
No,
sounds
Slim.
familiar.
No, I'm taking this as you signed up to write and perform
A Renegade
an alternative
theme song?
Renegade theme song. Don't let me down, Slim. That's your job. That's your new assignment.
I feel
Publicist and Renegade theme song creator. Matthew reads story while Robbi does sketches. Okay, friends.
Wait. I know this isn't on the agenda.
Yes, Robbi. What is it?
We got a couple things, a couple late submissions for the robot.
I'm just saying we are pressed for time today.
Okay.
So I think we should save those for the second. If you have requests for the agenda, they must be submitted ahead of time.
We'll do them in the second.
We would have skipped something like the vocal warm-ups if I'd known I had to accommodate some Renegade content.
I apologize.
We could save it for the end if we get through the primary content block. Okay?
Okay.
I'm not saying okay. I'm saying okay, but what I mean is, Robbi, fall in line. She who did not make the agenda today. All right?
Sally sells seashells at the seashore. I've always heard she sells seashells.
She sells seashells at the seashore. You guys are full of vocal warm-ups. Do we have a troupe of young actors and actresses amongst us? All right. So you guys, before we run out of time, because we have some hard-hitting content today, I'm going to read a story that I wrote. Now, guys, I actually wrote 2 stories for you since yesterday.
Oh.
The first one got very dark, and I don't mean that it was that the sun came down. Really sad things were happening to the characters, and it seemed inappropriate for children's show. So this is my second attempt.
Okay.
And this is called Dan's Awakening.
Dan's Awakening.
That might sound like a more mature content than...
Maybe you can move over so I can
But it's literal. It's a literal awakening.
Oh, he wakes up. Oh, well, explain what a different kind of awakening is.
Another type of awakening is coming into your own, coming of age, having realizations about life and how it works, realizing your own powers, recognizing the full depth of your emotional barometer, your landscape expands, your capabilities rise. You demand more and then you go get it. That's not the kind of awakening Dan has.
No, Dan just wakes up.
Was that you washing your face?
That was awakening. That was your brain opening up to the many magnificent things that it can accomplish.
I had an awakening at 5:13 a.m. this morning.
I did not.
Hooey!
I did not.
Can I read the story? No, I'm going to read the story.
Yes.
Robbi's going to make a couple of sketches.
Yes.
Then afterward, you guys and Robbi are going to work together to pick one of the sketches that seems most promising, that she will develop into a slightly more developed sketch.
Right.
That she will then tomorrow ink in, and that she will on Thursday paint in.
Yes.
And on Friday... We'll give it... What?
This sounds like quite a challenge.
Yeah.
And if I fall short...
No, she won't.
I apologize.
She's magnificent. She won't fall short. She's going to rise up
I
like
thought
the
it was
phoenix!
I thought it was going to be about dodos. I was hoping it would be about dodos.
Why were you hoping that?
Because dodos would be fun to draw.
Sorry, dude. It's about Dan. Okay?
Dan.
Will you just get
All right,
out your
all right.
pen
Okay,
and
here
make
we
us
go.
small? Okay.
I'm going to make us very small because I don't want people to have to look at my giant forehead while I draw.
Dan woke up.
Oops. Hold on.
That was
Okay.
it. That was the story. Dan woke up. All right, Dan woke up. He got out of bed and walked down the street. The haircuts were different. Everything was. That must have been a long nap, said Dan. Dan was known for long naps. Dan saw a sign advertising a convention for flightless birds. That's perfect, said Dan. Dan was a dodo.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
You should explain that Dan was a dodo at the very beginning
that
of
was
the
the
story.
reveal. It was part. The reveal was part of the narrative tension.
Oh,
You
man.
didn't know what Dan was. Do you see how I just got upbraided for writing a good story? I wrote a good story and I got in trouble with Robbi. Okay, should I start over? Dan woke up. He got out of bed and walked down the street.
Uh-oh, I lost my... What? Photoshop just quit.
Wait, but Robbi.
Yes?
Blaming inanimate object programs is not good modeling for the children. The children need to know to take responsibility
Photoshop
for the mistakes
absolutely
and accidents that we make in our lives.
quit on me.
I think instead of drawing a dodo, Robbi is just going to grab a dodo from the
No,
internet.
I needed
That's-
some...
That's what it looks like.
I
to me.
needed some, There we go. Ugh.
That is proof
okay.
that Photoshop quit on Robbi.
No, don't send the report.
You know what? You guys are learning about
This
the
is
life
the
of a
problem.
professional
This
illustrator.
is the problem.
This is
Okay.
what it's like to be Robbi all the time.
Okay.
Okay.
Starting
All right,
over
we're starting
again.
over. Okay, I'm going to start the story over.
But now I have my dodo as
Dan
reference.
woke up.
And now we know Dan's a dodo.
He
thank
got out of
goodness.
bed and walked down the street. The haircuts were different. Everything was. That must have been a long nap, said Dan. Dan was known for long naps. Dan saw a sign advertising a convention for flightless birds. That's perfect, said Dan. Dan was a dodo. The convention started, and Dan found himself making small talk with an ostrich named Stan and an emu named Llewellyn. Said Stan. This is awkward, but... said Llewellyn. What? Said Dan. His new friends were acting weird. What is it, guys? He asked. Stan got out a marker and changed the name of the convention to Convention for Flightless Birds Who Aren't Extinct. Seriously? Dan was pretty offended. Sorry, said Stan, who didn't sound sorry at all. Dodos have been extinct for hundreds of years. We have to maintain...
Wait, who are we talking to? A what and a what?
You know what?
A
It is hard.
Ostrich?
It is hard to concentrate while you're drawing. I understand. There's an ostrich named Stanley,
Okay.
okay, or Stan, and an emu named Llewellyn, okay.
Emu. Okay.
And right now they are rejecting Dan because their convention is for flightless birds who aren't extinct.
Okay.
Okay. Dan being extinct is not welcome among them.
Okay.
Okay. You getting? You understanding?
Yes.
Okay. Seriously? Dan was pretty offended. Sorry, said Stan, who didn't sound sorry at all. Dodos have been extinct for hundreds of years. We have to maintain our extremely high standards, said Llewellyn, who seemed like someone whose standards were not that high to begin with. Dan decided not to argue. He was a self-respecting dodo. Okay?
Oops.
He went out on the street and bought himself a Coke. He felt better. He kept on walking like a proud dodo does. Do you need me to wait for you for a little while? Yeah?
I'm still at the convention with
Right.
the
Right. With the ostrich and the emu?
ostrich. What's the ostrich look like?
Do you need to find a source image? Should I read the whole story once? And
Okay, yes, yes.
Okay. He went out on the street and bought himself a Coke. He felt better. He kept on walking like a proud dodo does. I only say that because I think there's something else you're going to want to draw in a little bit.
Okay.
He saw another sign advertising a convention for creatures that had been extinct for hundreds of years. Okay?
Oh.
The convention started, and Dan found himself making small talk with a pterodactyl named Lawrence and a saber-toothed tiger named Sarah. Hi, guys, said Dan. Hi, 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 they said. Dan felt great. He knew where he belonged. Just then a unicorn walked up, wearing a name tag that said, Hello, my name is Mr. Vinegar. Dan was worried. He figured Lawrence and Sarah would reject Mr. Vinegar and change the name of the conference. He was part right and part wrong. They did not reject Mr. Vinegar. They invited him to come with them to the breakout session on correcting errors on one's Wikipedia page. But they did change the name of the conference. And then there's a note that says, illustration shows the name of the conference has been changed to Conference for Creatures That Are No Longer Alive and Never Were. Okay? So at the end, Dan found compassionate friends who were extinct and welcoming of creatures that fell beyond the narrow parameters of the conference.
Conference for Creatures, what was it originally?
Well, we don't know exactly what it was, but we'll say
that
are
extinct.
Are extinct,
right?
Yes. And they changed it to Conference for Creatures That Are No Longer Alive and Never Were. Okay?
And
all right.
Dan is still Dan. There are... But who did he meet at the second conference?
The second one, he met a pterodactyl named Lawrence. You know how to draw a pterodactyl off the top of your head, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
nobody's ever seen a pterodactyl.
And a saber-toothed tiger named Sarah. Okay? Maybe at this point we should just pick some vignettes. Maybe it's too much to ask you to draw all these characters.
Yeah. Okay, so
what's most compelling? Having heard this story...
Wait, the pterodactyl, what happens?
So Dan goes to the second conference for
Yeah.
extinct creatures, and he meets a couple of nice creatures. One is named Lawrence, he's a pterodactyl, and one is named Sarah, and she's a saber-toothed tiger. Then Mr. Vinegar, the unicorn, comes up, and Dan worries that Mr. Vinegar is going to be rejected because he's not technically extinct because he's actually imaginary, right?
Okay.
But as it turns out, Lawrence and Sarah are quite welcoming of Mr. Vinegar, and they accept him, and they change the name of the conference to accommodate him instead of changing the name of the conference to shut him out. So it's really a story about accepting difference and welcoming those who are different than ourselves into our life. All right, so that's Mr. Vinegar. There we have Lawrence. The only creature we don't currently have is Sarah. Oh, we don't have an emu either. We're lacking an emu and a saber-toothed tiger, but we don't necessarily have to draw them if they don't fit into your scheme, into your vision.
What does the emu look like?
I have no idea. Do you want me to look it up over here?
I think it looks just like an ostrich, doesn't it?
I don't know. I'll look it up. Anybody have any thoughts?
Oh, and guess what? Ostriches only have 2 toes. We learned that.
No saying who stole Eddie on the emu.
This looks just like a gathering of creatures. Maybe my sketch should just be a gathering of all the characters.
Here is emu.
Okay, and emu's like a little more...
It's just sort of like a beat-down ostrich.
Yeah.
It's a less grand ostrich.
It's less fluffy. It's like stringy.
All right. So don't draw it if you're not interested in it.
Well,
how about... you're trying to develop a single illustration.
Yes,
right?
I think my single illustration should just really be the crowd of characters. Forget all the banners, right? I don't need the banners.
Well, but do you need all of the characters? Should it just be focused on 2 of them, for example?
I think it would be fun to just draw sort of the characters all crowded around.
Even the characters that were never in the same place in the story?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like an illustration. It'd be like the book cover, what the book cover would look like.
You just lost all your characters. Are you starting over?
I just, I put them on different...
You put them on different layers, so you can get them?
Layers.
Okay.
So
Robbi read the story. The part that Robbi missed... that you missed is how much she loves the story and how moved she was by the story. Because she forgot
I feel like mostly that story was about creatures coming together in one place and then coming together in another place. It didn't feel like there was very much action to... There
were some parallels. In the first environment, we had a toxic environment. People were closed-minded and cruel.
I know,
and then we went to a second environment where people were open-minded and kind.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is there was no action. It was standing around and talking in 2 different locations. As far as what the illustrator has to do, that makes it a little hard, right? Because there really was not much.
There was a time when
illustrate.
Dan was walking down the street drinking a Coke. Did you miss that?
I did. I wasn't paying attention.
There was also some small talk around a conference table that you seem to have completely dismissed as usable action. There were some sort of snarky glances from Stan.
Who's Dan?
Oh, Dan is our protagonist.
Oh, right.
Stan, the ostrich, and Llewellyn, the emu, they were kind of snarky.
They were mean, right?
Yeah, they were mean.
So maybe I'll put...
I'm just saying I gave you quite a bit to work with.
Maybe
and
I'll
I think
put
you're not
them,
being very grateful.
Maybe I'll put them sort of...
They're secondary.
Hanging out together.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, they were not super helpful.
they can maybe...
So this is a design challenge too, right?
This is a design challenge. I gotta make... Okay, this is one thing that I will do.
Okay, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to turn all of this to a light, to transparent, see, so I can barely see them, so then I can sort of trace over them and draw them the way that I want to.
What is inspiring you to draw so many creatures instead of just picking one or two?
Because I think if I were to make a...
I mean, is your goal here to...
Well, I want to sort of convey the whole gist of the story, which really is a bunch of creatures gathering in different places, and some of them rejecting the other. I mean, the emu and the... Yeah. Like, if I'm trying to capture what the whole story is about, that's what I would do.
Are you trying to capture what the story is about, or are you trying to make a nice illustration? I think...
Both.
Okay. I think if I were your art director, I would tell you to do fewer characters.
I know.
I feel like trying to do so many characters is going to make the illustration harder to appreciate. It's going to be too complex.
I have a very clear idea in my head of what this illustration is going to be.
See, what it is like to art direct Robbi is
usually I listen to you.
Stay out of the way. Bill the Unicorn would not approve of calling him imaginary. That is absolutely true. There are some shades of imaginary dragon happening here. I will give you that. Actually, don't tell me. Oh, go. Slim, yes. Find out for yourself. Read the book and find out that your joy will be compounded. Robbi, you have 5 minutes left. Just to let you know how much time you have here. I'm going to see if there's anything from the agenda that I can do in the background. This is the part where Robbi develops the sketch before your very eyes. Your next agenda item, you guys, is you swoon and flutter. So if you would like to start...
Find out if...
What?
Emus...
Yes?
Also have 2 gross toes, if they are didactyls.
Okay.
Or if they are...
Emu. Didactyl. Did anyone figure out about didactyls?
And pterodactyls.
So did anyone... We asked you guys to learn about didactyls and pterodactyls. Did anyone do that? Bird feet. No, ostrich is the only bird that has the dactyl foot. That would exclude the emu.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, how many toes does an emu have? Is it like webbed feet or like...
All right, I'm looking at variations in the morphology of emu is what I'm reading next. Oh, it's like a long scholarly article.
Oh.
I'm not going to do that.
Dodos are dodos the ones with blue feet, or is that...
Let's see.
No, those are boobies.
Dodo.
Actually, I'm looking at my picture of the dodo, and this is...
Dodo feet. Oh, you want to see a dodo feet? Look at them. They're so cute.
Oh my gosh, somebody's actually
wearing dodo feet. Somebody's... That's a man's feet.
Yes, that's not real dodo feet, Matthew.
I was so
excited. Look at my sad dodo. What's his name again?
Dan.
Dan.
So this is what we think dodo feet look like, you guys. Look at that. Oh, it's so small. All right.
Dodo, and then what was the other thing? A unicorn, right?
A unicorn, yeah, named Mr. Vinegar.
Mr. Vinegar.
Yeah. We don't have any great knowledge forthcoming about dactyls up here.
We don't.
Do you want to scold anybody? Do you want to put anybody in detention? Do you want to just disapprove? I mean, or are you feeling generous of spirit today?
I cannot concentrate on 2 things at once. Yeah. If you are asking me to make judgments on people...
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not asking you to. I asked if you wanted to.
Oh.
You can't even decide if you want to at this point.
Okay, and who's the... Oh, and the other one is a pterodactyl. What does a pterodactyl look like?
I'll get you a picture.
So it really was just 5 characters. The pterodactyl...
Do you have the saber-toothed tiger yet?
Oh, no. Mm-hmm. What does a saber-toothed tiger look like?
I can get you a picture of that, too. Pterodactyl looks like... Oh, it's very fierce. Here, I think that's a pretty good picture of it.
Oh, they have, like...
Very pointy heads.
Pointy heads.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. And then a great sweeping wingspan.
Okay, so the sweeping wingspan.
Yeah.
How would I make everything smaller?
Yeah.
And I'll make these go away.
Are you doing a study for the final illustration, or will the final illustration be something extracted from this large...
You are still trying to get me to not draw all these things.
I'm asking you a question. So you are planning on drawing all of these things for the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the pterodactyl friendly?
I don't think anyone knows. Oh, you mean in the story?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's totally nice.
Okay, and the saber-toothed tiger
okay.
is... Cats are... I always have trouble drawing cats because their faces seem like they're flat, but they're not. And she's like a nice...
Well, do you want that? Or do you want something more like...
Do they have... Okay, yeah, they have that flat, like... That flat head.
Here, there you go.
And little ears.
White, sabery teeth. It's hard to imagine that those teeth wouldn't get in the way of what you're trying to accomplish in life. They're just so big. It would be hard to chew grains with teeth like that.
I do not believe that they chewed grains.
No, so they didn't have the opportunity to have sort of a carbohydrate rush in the mid-afternoon when they had a swoon. No donuts for these guys, probably. It was all just big hunks of meat all the time.
I bet a saber-toothed tiger is not as tall as a horse.
No, you don't think so? All right.
I don't know.
All right, we need to wrap up the show.
Okay.
So how about we leave the illustration for...
Something-ish like this.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to do some fine-tuning tomorrow.
Okay. Wow. Very nice. All right.
Do you think that you still think that's too many things?
I'm gonna go with you. You have strong feelings here, Robbi.
I mean, if you were to pick fewer things, who would they be? Which would you do?
I think long ago in this development, I would have picked one. I would have picked Dan, the protagonist, and have him interacting with one or two other characters at the most. I would have picked the moment where he interacts with the unicorn, perhaps. Maybe the unicorn with his name badge on, and they have a moment of sort of seeing, because they were the ones who were in the same boat, right? Dan was rejected by the original
This is what
folks.
an art director does. They change everything that you want to do.
That is... I hope you saved all those things.
I did.
Okay, good. Just a nice, touching moment between those two. We have Mr. Vinegar with his name tag, and they are sort of experiencing the same moment in very different ways, because our protagonist was rejected, whereas Mr. Vinegar was accepted. So they have this tender moment of understanding and gratitude for one another.
Mr. Vinegar is wearing a name tag
that says, hello, my name is Mr. Vinegar.
Oh, like a
conference
sticker.
Name tag. Yeah, like a lanyard, if you will. Yeah, something that you get at the door of a conference when you come in. All right, friends, we got to go. It has been a pleasure spending this time with you. Did you? What did you lose?
I think you had the... There we go.
All right.
Oops. All right, so maybe something like that.
That would be my preference over the more busy composition.
All right. Well, you people tell me what you want. Do you want all of the characters, or do you want a simple, elegant, sad Dodo and gentle, kind Mr. Vinegar? All right.
Let us know, and Robbi promises not to hold it against you.
No, you know what?
Disagree with her first impulse. What's that?
I'm just going to do what I do, but I'd love to hear what you guys think.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Woo, that was exhausting.
We sure missed some things at the end of this agenda. Good thing we didn't squeeze in other things into the agenda.
Where are we? I don't even know where our thing is anymore.
All right,
How
guys.
do we get rid of these guys?
Poor Robbi.
All right, goodbye.
All right, bye, friends.
Goodbye.